welcome to Magic Monthly, brought to you by the Infinity Bros, the only podcast that is perfectly balanced as all things should be. My name is Jarrett. You've probably missed my beautiful face and, of course, my sweet and sultry tones on the radio, but I'm back after a very long hiatus. And joining me today, the man, the myth, the legend, he's one of those three things. Robbie, how you doing, bud?
Which one am I? That's a great question to maybe ask our viewers. I'm doing great. I'm glad to be back. Just ready to talk a lot of Magic news that we haven't talked about because our lives. It seems like every fall our lives get so busy. All of us.
Yeah.
All of the Infinity Bros, our lives get so busy in the fall. Well, except for the one to not be named. But life gets tough, and days get shorter, and we try our best to stay engaged. But here we are now. We're here now. So what else do you want from us?
This is eating into my Dark Souls time, so you guys better appreciate this. Like,
right.
that's
I have 900 more episodes of One Piece to watch. Like, I have some things to do.
I still can't believe you're actually doing that.
I'm loving it.
I gave up after when they meet the fish dudes in the village. I was like, this is too much. I can't. That's a lot of effort from me.
I'm loving it. I know it's a long journey. I'm 100 episodes. I'm 106 episodes in.
Proud of you.
And you know what? There's times where Netflix is just going and it's on, and I my attention to it isn't all there, which I'm sure some of the OP fans would hate to hear about. Yeah, but you know what? Just give me some time. When there's a fight scene or something that's big happening, I'm all in. But sometimes, my attention span fades.
Look, not every episode has just constant bangers, right? And that's how it is with every long running anime. There's gonna be people going Super Saiyan for 5 episodes just to fight for 5 minutes.
The wild thing. I know this is not a One Piece talk show that we're doing now. We could. We could be the One Piece podcast, which I'm sure already exists. The thing that's so different about One Piece compared to I myself as a big Dragon Ball Z, grew up on Dragon Ball Z kind of guy, is that there's just so many characters.
Sure. Yeah.
There's a new character every episode, and that character has a backstory. And it's crazy. Where Dragon Ball Z is we have our 12.
Yeah.
And these are the 12 we care about. Everyone else is they're there for a little bit, then they're dead or gone. We have our 12. Care about our 12, and that's it.
It's
interesting.
This is something we talked about offline. But there is a Dragon Ball. I didn't watch a lot of Dragon Ball. That wasn't really my cup of tea. But apparently there is somebody on there that looks like Cassius Marsh. And I want to know that guy's story.
Rokun?
Yeah.
Rokun? Yes. You didn't even watch that much of Dragon Ball Z?
No.
Dude, he's the first arc. He's the Frieza arc.
We
Saiyan arc.
I had to sneak watching Toonami as a kid. It wasn't really something that I was allowed to do. And so all the episodes and anything I watched was way later at night, which seems to be just Gundam, Unicron, and that, or Unicorn.
Yeah, sure. I can't believe you haven't watched Dragon Ball Z. I'm actually shocked right now. I thought you knew all the Dragon Ball Z guys.
No, not at all.
This is the thing with you, Jerry. You're so smart that you play everything off as I just assume that you know what we're talking about.
No, here's the thing. I have this. I have these weird super niche things, and I know everything about them. But then the surface level nerd stuff, or the stuff that everybody should know, is not my thing. Not that I don't like Dragon Ball Z. I just never got to watch it really. I'm like Isaac with any pop culture thing of the last 30 years. Yeah.
Any movie that doesn't have Nicolas Cage in it. Yeah.
Right. While we're on One Piece and kind of transitioning back into Magic stuff, have you at all checked out the One Piece card game? Is that even on your radar right now?
Yes, actually.
No joke. For real?
Yes, for sure. For real. I have I made a video that I have not posted or edited or done anything with, but I made a video and the video kind of sucked. So that's why I haven't. But I did an unboxing of the 0-1 deck that is the Monkey Do Luffy deck, which I have right.
Oh, sick.
Here.
Okay.
I know if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see this, but I have the deck in my hands. I have no idea how to play this. I haven't really read any of it yet. So I have no idea if it's good. Like, I don't know if the game is good. I've seen a lot of people opening it up online. But it just goes to show like One Piece has a pretty massive
People
fan
go
base.
hard for this for sure.
Yeah, people love One Piece. I didn't know the love was this deep. So yeah,
Digimon TCG didn't last super long, although I know people were kind of fans of that.
that you can still find that, but it's just Digimon needs to probably give up.
My Hero has one. A bunch of them have one, but
My Hero's iffy.
Yeah, the one I have heard about though that like people are actually like, this is my bread and butter is One Piece. So
Really,
I don't know. Maybe it's there.
See, I've seen a lot of card opening things for One Piece. The other one I thought was doing well, but maybe isn't, is the Dragon Ball Z one. That one seems to have a lot of cards. Like a lot of people, like there's like you go into a store and there's a whole section of just Dragon Ball Z, but I don't know if that's like a nostalgia thing
Sure.
or if people are actually playing it or not.
I've seen a lot more people collect that than play it.
Yeah, which makes sense. I would 100% collect that if I didn't have Magic.
If you're listening right now and you haven't jumped in our Discord, go do that now. We want to hear from you. If you have any interest in us checking out, trying any of these TCGs, especially One Piece. I know Lorcana's big, but honestly, dude, I can't seem to get my hands on that one either.
Never gonna find it, and when you do, it's gonna be too expensive.
Right. So I don't know. I would like to check out the One Piece TCG. Maybe we'll learn that together and do like a stream or something of it. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, transitioning back into the Magic news, we kind of have a lot to cover here. I'm gonna kick this out to you real quick. Do you want to talk about some of the Wilds of Eldraine stuff? Because I dug into this set a little bit, but I don't think I've been touching it as much as you. Do you feel like this is a hit or a miss? What are some standouts that you saw here?
Wilds of Eldraine, and we can touch on a little bit, has a lot of really good cards.
Yeah.
I know one of the things that people didn't like about Wilds of Eldraine is that it it lessened the value on some really expensive cards like Ristic Study, Kindred Discovery, Bitter Blossom. There's some others that I'm blanking on, but
crazy amount of reprints. Yeah.
Doubling Season, like in Doubling Season, just got reprinted with Commander Masters. So
right,
there's a few that but I'm all for reprints. Like I know there's people, oh, my cards lose their value. Yeah, well,
that happens.
Life's tough. Get a helmet. Like that's just going to happen. They're going to reprint cards. They don't. Magic, besides the one of One Ring, Magic doesn't care about your feelings. So no, the Wilds of Eldraine set is I think it's a lot of fun. We talked pre-shows. I haven't got to play it much.
Yeah.
I for anyone who doesn't know that's listening to the podcast, I coach football in the fall. And my life is so much, it's work and then football, and football is another 35-hour, 40-hour a week job, plus being a father and doing all that. So I haven't had time to play. I've bought a lot, and the packs have been really good to me. Like as far as like hitting, like opening packs and hitting on most of my packs, I've been very, very lucky. If you're thinking of the monetary value of the set, I've really enjoyed the set. It has a lot to do with like fairy tales type stuff, which is really, really fun. So I thought it was a really fun set. I would say it's a hit, which is pretty impressive that besides Aftermath, there hasn't been a big miss. Maybe Brothers War, I suppose, but there hasn't been a big miss this year from Magic.
Sure.
Probably Brothers War and Aftermath are probably your misses, but I think everything else has actually been really, really decent.
Positive, for sure. Did you get to play the first Eldraine, or was that kind of before you?
That was before I got into it. Yeah.
Okay. That was a powerhouse of a set too, and a lot of the standout cards from that set still see play format wide, like everywhere, which is nice. And I think this has a lot of the same. I don't.
Yeah, think like Agatha's Soul Cauldron's not going to go away. Beseech the Mirror with the new bargain mechanic.
Yeah,
which is like the easiest mechanic ever. Like that's not going to go away. Oh gosh, what's another? I'm blinking. There's more. There's quite a few cards that I think have staying power. Moonshaker Cavalry.
Oh yeah,
like that's a white staple now. Like you just got a white
Overrun Craterhoof in white is
Craterhoof Behemoth. Yeah, not quite as good as Craterhoof, but like a really freaking good card.
It's cool to see, and I'm glad it's not like like Lord of the Rings, you see Orcish Bowmaster, you see the One Ring everywhere. I'm glad it's
Yeah.
not that where it's like One Ring is warping every format from modern to
Right.
legacy. And so I'm glad that it's powerful but not broken powerful, which the first Eldraine definitely was.
Sure.
Um, Moving on from there, we got a lot of news about stuff going forward. Did you mess up? Are you, first of all, what do they call themselves? Are you a Whovian? Are you a
No.
Doctor Who
Is that
fan?
what they call themselves?
I think that's what
Whovians?
they call themselves.
The
I'm not a Whovian,
Who's?
so I don't know.
The
Um,
Who's people? No, I'm not a a Who person at all.
it is.
I don't subscribe to Whoville.
It's one of those things that like I think I did not realize how big the fan base was when
Mm,
because we were at MagicCon when they announced this set, and
right.
it was like, I kid you not, it was deafening in there for how loud people were screaming for Doctor Who.
Right.
And I didn't realize it was that big of a thing. Some of my college buddies really enjoyed it, but dude, people go hard for this IP. Like
Well, you got to think
it's
like how
deep,
long? Because Doctor Who's been going on since what, the '60s?
something like that.
Like that's one of the longest running continuous shows of all time. So
Right,
like obviously you're gonna have generations of people that like it. Obviously there's gonna be the people that just hate Universes Beyond,
right.
which again, life's tough. Get a helmet. It's not all
Yeah.
about you and what you like. Um,
Have you
so
had a chance to check these out though? Because there's a lot going on here.
I bought. I mistakenly bought one collector booster pack. I knew I was buying it. It wasn't a mistake that I bought it. I
Yeah,
knew I
right.
bought it. But I bought one collector booster pack for $20. Um, and I got some okay cards. I don't think really anything I'm going to use. I got some nice lands that I actually really liked. Some dual lands.
Sure. A lot of
Um,
snarls.
yeah. But beyond that, it's kind of niche to me. What I
Sure.
learned after that was actually I watched a professor's video,
Yeah.
and I learned that if you buy the commander decks, you get every single card from that set.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So every single card in that set is in the commander decks.
Right. So you get all there's 4 decks, correct?
There's 4 decks. You can usually get them. You can get all 4 for like 180.
Yeah.
A couple of the decks go. There's one deck that goes for like $80. A couple of them go for like 40, and another like the middle one goes for like 60. From what I've seen, um, but it's one of those where if you just buy the commander decks, you have the entire set because
Right.
all the collector boosters are is just special art and special treatment cards and all that. So if you want like the alternative art, you have to get from there. But if you've never 100 a set before,
This is the way to
there
do
you
it, I
go.
guess.
There
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Some of these cards are cool. I don't want to spend too much time on this because you and I aren't really super deep into the IP, but I think some of the stuff that they did with like tokens and
Ooh,
a lot of
yeah.
suspend mechanic stuff, it's
Yeah.
really cool to see how they've taken these universe beyond IPs and actually made like something to match with it. Right? It's clear
Right.
that this was a passion project and not just a throwaway like, well, there's a lot of money in Doctor Who, so let's just make a set and get it over with.
The one card that for me that like really stuck out, and a lot of people already talked about those, was displaced dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, yep,
5 colorless and 2 green.
yep,
As a historic permanent enters the battlefield under your control, it becomes a 7/7 dinosaur creature in addition to its other types.
yeah.
That's insane.
Pretty gas.
That you could make a lot of dinos because like for anyone who doesn't know, that's artifacts, legendaries, sagas are all historic. So if you're making a bunch of treasures, all those
Yeah,
treasures become 7/7 dinosaurs.
it's a good way to just get your value out of things that you're doing anyway, and
Right.
the fact that it's like green already has ways to get that big that quickly, and so yeah, it's pretty buck wild.
Yeah, I'm all for that card. Uh, I might just buy the deck that has that card just so I can have that card.
Right.
I'll have to check which deck that comes in, but yeah,
Um,
I'm all for that.
the only one that's really like stuck out to me is the Master Multiplied. It's 4 black red for a legendary creature, Time Lord Rogue. It's a 4/3. This is what really like grabbed me. So it's a Rakdos commander, and it says
Mhm.
Myriad, which Myriad when it attacks, it makes a copy for each player that you're attacking. It says the legend rule doesn't apply to creature tokens you control. So this
Ooh,
thing
yeah.
And like that enough is pretty strong. And then it says triggered
Right.
abilities you control can't cause you to sacrifice or exile creature tokens you control. So turn 1, you get 3 of these. Turn
Right.
2, you get what? 9 of these. And then it just exponentially gets bigger from there. Not to mention all the other stuff that you're copying anyways. This dude was awesome. So yeah, there's
nice.
a lot going on here. Honestly, like if you haven't, go dig through this page on EDH Rec. There's something for everybody, whether you're a fan of the IP or not. Which again, I know I've seen like 2 Doctor Who episodes. Granted, the 2 I've seen are good. It's just not my cup of
I've
tea.
never ever watched a single episode of Doctor Who. I know about the TARDIS. I
You
know that's
okay?
a thing, but I can't put any more time into something like that.
I will say, and like I'm not a Who guy, so like somebody tell me if this is wrong. I like the Who, but I've never watched Doctor. Anyways, go watch the Vincent Van Gogh one. That's one of the 3 or 4, 2, however many I've seen, but that's the only one I remember, and it is phenomenal. Like I was emotional at the end of that episode. It is
Didn't make you want to watch the entire show though.
no, I think the other episodes that I watched were so like just nothing. That it
Wait, we're
didn't
gonna
do it
do
for me.
a
But
how
that
many
one episode
episodes
is
of Doctor Who.
oh, dude, it's
I'm so,
it's a
also
million.
I'm sorry that my I have a clicky keyboard, so you're gonna hear
Yeah.
all the clickies. All right, so take a guess. How many episodes of Doctor Who do you think there are?
1,000.
Fairly close.
Was I? Okay.
862.
Wow.
862. Now, granted, these are live action television shows. So like
Right.
we think of One Piece. One Piece has 1076 net
Right.
right now, which this sounds insane. But those are once you get through the intro and the outro, those episodes are 17 minutes long, right?
And I can imagine too that like some of those first seasons of Doctor Who
Are
probably
completely
aren't
useless.
great watches. You know what I mean?
Just awful.
Yeah. Vincent and the Doctor is the episode I was talking about. It's season 5,
Okay.
episode 10. It's
Gotcha.
phenomenal. It's really good.
Yeah, these are 40-minute episodes. That would take forever to. Nope,
Yeah.
never happening. Never
Not
happening.
for me.
Right.
I appreciate that you guys are fans of this IP. It's not for me.
Nope.
We don't even get a second to breathe. We're moving on to Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Were you
Yeah,
around for Ixalan?
right. No, I know of Ixalan because of all the dinos,
Ixalan,
and I'm
yeah.
gonna be broke.
It is okay. I can't spend any money on Lost Caverns of Ixalan because I'm saving up for Fallout, which we'll talk about in a moment.
Okay.
But Ixalan is probably my favorite plane. They have indigenous merfolk, which merfolk is like one of my all-time favorite types.
Well, of course
it has
degenerate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just Simic, like do good stuff and reward you for doing what you're doing anyways,
Right.
which I love.
Well,
Dinosaurs.
let's be honest. This set is for you and me. It has your
Oh, for
degenerate
sure.
merfolk, and then it has big stompy dinosaurs.
It has pirates. It has
there's
Is It
pirates?
Pirates, which is so good. And I'm a Grixis player, so like Grixis pirates, I gotta steal your stuff. I gotta make treasures, like perfect. And then of course the conquistadors are literal vampires. I love that. That's so on theme. It's so great. So Lost Caverns takes all the things that I love about Ixalan, which was, let's be real, Ixalan, other than the Elder Dinosaurs, was a lackluster set. The flip lands were cool, but a lot of the stuff was really low powered. I played standard at that time. It wasn't really taking off. This looks way better than that, just from the previews that we got. So I'm excited to see where it's going.
Is it weird that when I think of Ixalan and I think of all the dinosaurs, like this seems like a set that a dad like a father created this set to get his son to play Magic the Gathering.
Pirates, dinosaurs, vampires. It's
right?
all
like I here, son. Here's all the dinosaurs. Like the first deck I made my son was a bunch of animals. It's like, but now I'm going to be able to buy all these dinosaurs. I'm just going to throw those into his big green stompy deck. Yeah. Like we're exactly. Have a dinosaur deck. Like absolutely.
The first go around, they really focused on the dinosaurs. That's where we got the Elder Dinosaurs, and with the exception of the black one, they all see play still today. Like I have them in quite a few of my decks. The black one was horrible. But with this, they kind of pivoted towards It's essentially like their play on Aztec and Maya culture, but they have
Yeah.
the gods of the sun
Yep.
people, and I'm super excited to see some of the themes that they've come out of that. I think they're just absolutely buck wild with how strong they are.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you see? I don't know if it
what?
was today or maybe it was tomorrow, but the I'm gonna butcher this name, so bear with me.
Yeah, yeah.
The Aklozat's
This is
deepest
the
betrayal, the
yeah,
Bat God.
yeah,
That thing
yeah.
is
This dude is
nasty.
wild.
That's a nasty boy.
Some of these are impronounceable to me, and we'll do our best to try
We'll
to
try, yeah.
figure it out. But forgive us if we butcher some of these. But yeah, that one is especially really cool. The red one is really cool.
The red
I don't
one, I just can't get over. I can't get over the art. Like,
really the
like a
dinosaur
skull
arm and
head,
the yeah
dinosaur arm. Like, what are you? You are Voltron.
yeah.
Like, geez, guy.
I'm kind of all in on it. I think it looks pretty dope, but
That one's a
I
little
understand
over
what
the.
you're saying. Yeah.
Even for Magic, that one's a little like okay. Like
All right, we
we're
get
being
it.
we're being a little ridiculous right now.
um, do you
Yeah.
have any interest? Are you going to build any of these? Are you going to grab any of the commander decks? Because we do have the precons already like not spoiled in full, but we know who the face commanders are. Does
So
this interest you at all?
I have yet to actually read through the commanders
Oh,
too
sure.
much. I'm looking at them right now. Like the Dino one,
Yeah,
obviously that one makes me interested, right? Um, the one that, as a stupid dumb idiot I am, the big
yeah,
stompy dumb I am,
yeah,
the Galta, getting another Galta makes me excited.
for sure.
Well, I probably won't make a like a commander deck out of it because that's a really expensive
Right.
mono green commander. But getting a chance to get another Galta and put Galta in one of my decks, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
The other one I'm excited for, without even reading what the card does, the Bone Horde Dracosaur. I get a dinosaur dragon.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay.
I'm sold.
Hard to say no to that for sure.
I want 1,000 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. The only thing I kind of want to pick up the Merfolk one just because I love Merfolk. I loved them the first time around. The
Yeah.
only thing is I still want to build with what's the Kumena, but he is so expensive. He's like I don't know how much he is right now, but you cannot find Kumena for cheap. And so I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I am interested though, and this is something, Isaac, if you're editing this and you're listening to this podcast, this is 100% for you, my guy. They are bringing in a Universes Beyond copy of some of these cards as Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Which is phenomenal. I think there's some flavor fail going on. There's some things that don't quite like, okay, that's not really how I would do that as a Magic card.
Right.
But as a rule, I think they look great. Some of the ones that they've shown us so far kind of look cool. So we see like Dr. Ian Malcolm. I think he's replacing not Atla. Is it Atla Plani?
It's Atla Palani Nest Tender.
That one's really cool. I don't know why he's specifically that one. That's one of the flavor fails that I'm like, okay, so he's polymorphing eggs, and
according to this list, this is the only one that's just a skin, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
The one that's I'm semi interested in,
yeah, please,
is the Indoraptor, the perfect hybrid.
Okay, yeah, we gotta talk.
That sounds kind of sounds like a really fun commander build because it's a colorless, and you get then it's black, green, red. Right. What's the name for black, green, red?
It is.
I always butcher these. Black, green, red.
Oh my gosh, I'm Jund.
Jund, yeah. Oh, for sure, yeah. Jund. So you're getting a Jund commander for 3, a 3/1 with Bloodthirst X and Enrage. Like, kind of a fun little card there.
That one's really cool. And then the Sultai one. I'm trying to remember what the Sultai one is called. But that one looks. I think it's Indominus Rex. Is that right?
Yes, Indominus Rex Alpha. I haven't read this one. All right, I'll just read it out.
Okay, yeah, read it out.
As Indominus Rex Alpha enters the battlefield, discard any number of creature cards. It enters with a flying counter on it. If a card discarded this way has flying, the same is true for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Hexproof, all those ones. Then at the end of it says, when Indominus Rex enters the battlefield, draw a card for each counter on it.
So to me, this is like Big Stompy meets Keyword Soup. Yeah. And the best thing is it's card advantage in the command zone, right? And if you have these like otherwise maybe not as useful creatures, you could just toss them, just get rid of them, right? And then
Right.
Indominus
Right.
Rex comes even harder. I think this is going to be cool. To me, I want to build this as. Do you know what boggles are? That's kind
No.
of an older thing. So boggles are hexproof creatures, and the whole point is like because they're hexproof and your opponents can't interact with them, you just build them up as big as you can. Because what are they going to
Sure.
do? They
Yeah.
can't remove it.
Right.
So I want to build Indominus Rex as like a creature only boggles commander, and I think it's going to get absolutely wild. Yeah, and it's in my favorite color, Sultai Rock. So
is boggles like somewhat like a Voltron build?
yes.
Okay.
So it's Voltron. The creatures tend to be really small at first, whereas Voltron decks you usually want them a little bit bigger and then smack a bunch of stuff on them. But yeah, it's sort of the same idea.
Right, because this one isn't like equipment based
Right.
or ability based. You're sacrificing a bunch of stuff to make this thing just a monster.
Yeah, and this is the first time we've seen, because keyword soup tends to be a white thing. We see it a lot with Odric.
Okay.
I believe it was Sarah or whatever the one from Commander was, Commander
Yep.
Legends. Those tend to get out of hand in white, but like it's mono white, right? Like we're not too scared of those. But in Sultai, you got ramp, you got removal, you got counter spells. Like it's everything my dirty Jameer heart ever wanted, and then green ramp. So hard to say no to that for me.
Right.
Speaking of Sultai degeneracy, let's move on and talk about Fallout. Are you a Fallout guy? Are you a Todd Howard fan?
Can I pause
Please
1 sec before that?
Yes.
Because I think this is something that people always get upset about, is that the reprints that they're doing for Ixalan are crazy.
Oh, oh my gosh, yeah, I didn't even think about this.
So Cavern of Souls.
Yes.
And Mana Crypt.
Yes.
Like holy crap.
2 CDH legacy cards. These are
like when was the last time has Mana Crypt ever been has that ever been reprinted?
I think it's come out as like
definitely has, but not to this extent, I don't think.
It came out in Commander Masters, I think.
I don't know. Mana Crypt was not in Commander Masters.
It came out in a recent set because it got the different art style.
Yeah, maybe Jeweled Lotus was in Commander Masters. That was like the big one. Mana Crypt was not. I don't know.
It's been printed in the Masterwork sets, which are like the they're all based on Kaladesh, and they got like the cool filigree stuff on them. I know it was printed in that.
Okay.
I don't remember if it was printed in the Amonkhet ones, but it's seen a couple reprints, but it's still like a $200 card.
It's a very expensive card.
Yeah.
And so they got like the normal version that it looks like you can get, and this could change, but there's a Mana Crypt that I believe you can get in any set booster, I believe.
Does that make this? I see. This is something that we should have looked up ahead of time. Somebody hop on Discord and let us know. Does that mean that Mana Crypt will be legal in Standard?
That's a good question.
That would be absolutely.
That's a question for you, but I don't.
Yeah,
I don't care about Standard, so that's a question for you. But then there's also the.
But just hold on, just bear with me for a moment, because Mana Crypt and One Ring in Standard.
Nasty.
Nobody would play again. I wouldn't play.
People would stop playing.
Yeah. Okay.
Which they should stop. They should stop playing Standard anyway because it's boring. the Standard players are so upset right now.
Hot take. They're throwing stuff across the room.
I'm done with this. This is the worst podcast ever. Whatever. So Cavern of Souls and Mana Crypt.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, but they have these showcase versions that come in different colors.
Yeah.
I'm interested to find out if there'll be certain colors that are like more rare than others.
It sounds.
I'm also interested to find out if those are going to be in like set boost or play boosters. Was what card? I don't know if that's going to start for Ixalan. Maybe that's next year. But collector boosters, or if they're going to be in set boosters. I guess we'll have to wait to find out about that.
It sounds to me like this is going to run in the same way that the Hitotsugu from Neon Dynasty was.
Sure.
Where like the different colors represent like different rarities of pulls, and so like with Hitotsugu, I want to say it was
whatever it was the really expensive one.
And so I have a feeling
it's annoying because there was like a red, so you would get the red thinking you had the spendy one when you had like the $2 one.
Right. I think the red and the purple were super common, and it was a mess.
Yeah, one of them was really expensive.
I'm kind of okay with this for one reason only, is because like I want to be able to afford Mana Crypt.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I can
I'm
pick
there
it
with
up,
you.
because Hitotsugu was like, if you buy the normal Hitotsugu, it's like less than 20. I think it's like 10 cents.
It's a
So if Mana
super
Crypt,
it's a trash. It's not. It's a trash card. It's a bad
yeah,
card.
I
It's a
don't think it's a
bulk
bad card.
rare, but it's a bulk rare.
Yeah. And Mana Crypt obviously isn't going to be that no matter
Right.
what you do to it. But if I can pick up a Mana Crypt for like 30, $40 as opposed to
Exactly.
$200, I'm all for it.
Well, and if it's gonna be in set boosters, like
Yeah.
you have a pretty good chance. Just buy a box, and
Yeah.
you might hit on one. You know,
If you're
like
gonna spend money to get a Mana Crypt anyways, buy a box. You'll probably pull one, and then you get all
right,
the
there's a
value from
good
the box
chance.
anyway. Yeah,
Right.
might as well. Um. Okay, back to Fallout. Are you a Todd
Yes,
Howard fan? Are you a Fallout
I'm a
fan?
huge Fallout fan.
Oh, I didn't know this
Um,
about you.
you didn't you I we've okay. We have talked about this in chat, but like things get mixed
Yeah,
construed in chat so much. I have been not my entire life, but since
sure.
Fallout 3, I've been a huge Fallout fan.
I think that's
Now,
where most people jumped on. Yeah,
yeah, but and I loved Fallout 4 because we've definitely talked about this
yeah,
because I love Fallout 4. A lot of people hated Fallout 4
right,
because people tend to not like change.
sure. And that changed
Which
a lot.
I'm gonna get into why I didn't like the next Fallout was 76. I didn't like 76
Okay,
because I didn't want a multiplayer. Like when a Fallout game to me, much like a Skyrim game and is made to just played solo, in my
okay.
opinion. I
Mhm.
don't like having to rely on someone else to help me, which I know
Sure.
there is like a lone survivor way to play 76, and I have been playing 76 recently.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Finally, I have started to
Yeah,
play. So no, Fallout World is one of my favorite universes to be in. Like
yeah.
I'll play that before I'll play like a Skyrim.
I love
Like
that. Look
I
at you.
love Fallout. Yeah,
Um, so then you and I are spoiled with this because
yeah,
you kind of
absolutely.
get everything. Of the cards that we've seen a bunch of different versions. They have the VATS version, they have the Pit Boy version of a lot of this
Yep.
stuff. I like the VATS version. I know a lot of people are kind of iffy about those.
Yeah.
But like it spans the whole genre. Of the face commanders from the decks that we've seen so far, we get Dr. Madison Lee, who was in 3 and 4 if I'm remembering
I
correctly.
believe so. Yeah, because she.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
We get Dogmeat, who's in like freaking everything.
The
Dogmeat's
best boy
best boy.
ever.
We get the Wise Mothman. This is the one I'm most excited about from Fallout 76.
Of course. Yeah.
I love
And I don't know much about the Wise Mothman.
from the sound of it, this deck is going to be cryptids, which is like so up my alley. Like I think this is going to be what gets Zane into Magic, is that like they're going to have a whole deck that's just like Fallout cryptids.
Yeah.
And then I believe the last one is it's either Mr. House or
It's it's
Kaiser.
Caesar.
Yeah.
It's Caesar Legion.
Oh, is it Caesar?
Legion's
I
Emperor. Yeah.
think I'm trying to remember because it's been a while since I played New Vegas. I think they call him Kaiser, which cracks me up.
It might
Because
be.
none of them.
So
Yeah.
okay. I love 3 and I love 4 and I'm getting to 76. I for some reason New Vegas I just missed it.
Oh, sure.
I just missed New Vegas. I don't know why or how. Um I just missed it. I've never played New Vegas,
Of the
which is
Fallout
weird.
games, New Vegas is by and large my favorite. It is so good.
See, and I've
Um,
heard a lot of people say that. It's like, but 3 is so good. So I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know.
The
That's one that I need to just bite the bullet and get back into it, but I never have.
Absolutely, you should. You can and should. I'm not going to talk about every card because there's a lot going on here. We
Yeah.
do see Rex, which is the version of Dogmeat that you get in New Vegas. He is Azorius colored. They're
Yep.
kind of interesting. So the 4 decks are scientist based, which I love that they brought back energy, which was a mechanic from Ixalan, or not Ixalan, from Kaladesh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love this mechanic, but I hate the idea of this in this deck just because I don't care about the Institute. I really don't care that much about the Enclave.
Yeah.
Brotherhood of Steel
Same.
is cool, but probably won't pick this one up. Dogmeat is Naya, tokens, and Voltron and good stuff. All
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah.
The only deck that I have that doesn't have Demir in it is my Voltron Naya deck. So I'll be
Well,
picking
there you
this
go.
out for sure.
Yeah.
And then we have the Wise Mothman at the head of the Cryptid deck. This
Yep.
one is called Mutants or something like that. Looks like it's a lot
Yeah,
of
something like that.
+1/+1 counters, and they introduce. This is my favorite thing. Have you seen the radiation mechanic?
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, it's so freaking cool. So basically, as they build up radiation, they take damage and they mill themselves. So the fact
Yeah.
that you have a payoff for mill that isn't just like, I'm going to dump all your cards into your graveyard and you'll probably
Right.
be able to use them anyways. I think it's a cool way to do this for sure. And then the last deck is Survivor themed, I think. And that's the Mardu one with Caesar and Mr. House and all these other ones.
Yeah. Yep.
To me, that's the one that I'm probably least interested in, just because it's not my cup of tea to play Mardu, and I have no interest in like the mechanic. Doctor House is cool. He's probably one of my favorite characters of the Fallout series. So
Mhm.
I don't know. We'll see what goes with that.
Yeah, I unfortunately am fairly underwhelmed
Okay.
with these. Um, it just seems so almost like copy and paste.
Oh, sure.
Like they didn't really take a lot of liberty with like the art. They just kind of like, well, this looks like a still from the show or from the game. Just slap that bad boy on there, put it
Right.
out there. Um, I'm not always a huge fan of tricolors. I
Oh, sure.
really wanted and obviously like what I want, what they do is going to be completely different. I really wanted like a creatures of the wasteland like type of deck,
Sure. I believe the
um,
Sultai is that.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah. That's the one that I'm picking up. And not just
right.
because it has the Mothman, which I adore,
Yeah,
but I think we're going to get a lot of cool cards in that one.
sure. And then yeah, like a Brotherhood of Steel one, which I know is kind of what the Madison Lee one is.
Yeah, that I was so confused
I
because
just
to me,
yeah,
the Institute isn't like the Institute isn't what people want to see on a commander deck, right? Like to
right.
me, when you think of Fallout, you think of Survivors and you think of the Brotherhood of Steel. Like those are the ones
Yep.
that stand out above and beyond. And so the
Yeah.
fact that like they chose Caesar's Legion and the Institute over the Brotherhood
It's just
blows my
really
mind.
odd, man.
Yeah. Like I
Yeah,
thought
so
there was
that
going to be a Nuka Cola themed one too, which did not happen.
something with yeah, with caps as like
Right.
treasure or something. Because like let's be honest, like treasures was I know
It's
it's a
still
very popular
massive.
mechanic and it's still pretty
They're strong.
but
Yeah.
there hasn't been a deck that's come out for it in a long time that I can remember
No, people are
over
scared
the
of it.
last 2 years.
They
Yeah, for
they
sure.
power crept it and they don't want to touch it now.
Right. So it's like I don't know. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm a little underwhelmed. Obviously, we'll get more leaks here. Like we
Right.
don't have that much
Right.
to go off of yet. Also, this set they're doing this a lot like Doctor Who, correct? Like this is going to
Yes.
be
Yep.
4 commander decks and then collector boosters. So it'll be interesting to see if it's the same where if you just buy all 4 decks and you just get all of the cards from the set.
I believe that's the case. And I know
Though
people are going to be chasing this a lot more because there's more styles to be had from the collector boosters.
that is
Doctor Who did not have as many.
that's what I was gonna say. That's the big thing is that you can get like the Pip Boy, like
Yep.
or the what's
Vault
his
Boy.
name?
Yeah.
Vault Boy. All the Vault Boy cards are awesome, and I bet none of those are in the commander decks.
Right.
I bet every single one of the Vault Boy bobbleheads and all that stuff, I bet all of those are just collector boosters, which that will have some buying power. So
So
those
it's
are really cool. I'm excited about those, but
yeah.
yeah.
But between those, the VATS style, which looks really cool, and then the full art, like I think people are actually going to spend their money on the collector boosters for this one.
I think so too. I think there's merit to that. I'm I don't like the VATS cards.
Really?
I really don't like the
That's
look.
interesting. Okay.
It really sucks. I'm really underwhelmed by the set, like, which is it sucks. It really does suck. But like, there's going to be more that's going to come out.
Yeah.
I bet I'll get excited for once I see more. But so far, I'm pretty underwhelmed. The Vault Boy cards look really cool. They didn't even make my Alpha Deathclaw a legendary, which makes me upset.
Yeah, that is
Um,
wild.
so like there's just some things that I'm just like, oh, you guys could have done this and they
Yeah.
didn't. So The Nuka-Cola vending machine. Have you read that card?
Yeah, looks great.
That's
I'm
a
all
great
in on
card.
this.
Yeah, yeah. Let's pump food. Let's keep pumping the food stuff.
They've really gone hard with food lately, huh?
Yeah, they have.
I'm
I'm all
I'm
for
into
it.
it.
I'm into. I've never made a food deck, but I did just buy. We talked pre-show. I just bought the Food and Fellowship Lord of the Rings deck. So yeah, maybe I need to make a food deck. I don't know.
So between Fallout, Final Fantasy, Marvel, which we'll talk about in a second,
Oh,
and the fact
tease.
that they got a Yoji Shinkawa secret layer, they're hitting all my itches. If they release a Elden Ring or Dark Souls, I'm literally just gonna faint. Like that's everything I want and then some.
That's
But
like
no, this is doing
2026.
yeah.
2026.
So we kind of touched on it. We don't know necessarily what this means, but there was a teaser that came out talking about a crossover between Marvel and Magic. Now, you and I talked about this not too long ago, and we also had an
Mm-hmm.
episode with Krim, the Asian Avenger of MTG Goldfish fame, where we talked about something like this as well. And again, we were like, this will never happen, but what if you made your own
Right.
universes beyond? And it happened. Were you
It's
expecting this in
happening.
any way? Is happening. Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
No, this. I think this caught so many people off guard,
Yeah.
and so many people are confused by this because the thought was Disney, who
Yeah.
owns Marvel, just made Lorcana
Yes. And has Snap, which is highly successful
and has
as well.
Snap.
Yeah.
It's like, why then would they ever partner with a lowly print shop of Wizards of the Coast?
Hasbro, yeah.
Like the very, very just in-house mom and pop shop that is
Right.
Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. It makes no sense. So I was completely floored. Like, I didn't think it was real. The trailer that they posted was vague as all get out. But essentially we're going to get a Marvel and Magic the Gathering crossover. A Universes Beyond, whether that's a set or if it's like Commander Masters or Commander Boosters or whatever. Which
So yeah. So
I don't know.
I read an interview where they talked about, and it's posted on the, I don't think it's on the Magic site. I think it's on the Marvel site. But they talked about how it's a set. So
well, it has to be, right?
Yeah,
like
this
it's going to be a Lord of the Rings level set.
Exactly. This is not a couple one-shot decks. This is not a secret layer. It sounds like this is a full set, maybe sets, as in more than one. We don't know yet, but it's not a throwaway thing. They're invested in this, and I think it caught us off guard because of Lorcana and Snap, but also like Lorcana is flying off the shelves.
You can't buy it.
You can't buy it. So my thought was maybe they're leaving Lorcana more child friendly, and they can do,
yeah, exactly. I hit on that. I made a quick video as soon as this came out. I was like,
right.
This tells us two things, right? Lorcana is going to be kid friendly, animated movie friendly. Like, this is going to be seems like this is going to be a game that you're always going to be able to play with your kids.
Right.
2, and maybe the bigger news for some people. The door for Star Wars,
is wide open.
Yeah, because Star Wars obviously also owned by
Disney.
Yeah,
we're there. Like, Mandalorian Commander deck tomorrow.
But the other thing, and maybe this is what we've all just missed. Hasbro makes the toys,
right,
for Marvel, for Disney,
right,
like for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that none of us connected those dots, it seems like, because we all just thought it was never going to happen. Like, this Star Wars is going to happen.
Some big news here, and that I think a lot of people missed when they watched this announcement. If you look at what he's holding, the comic books that he's reading, and maybe this is worth a rewatch, but it looked to me like Magic was in there, as in like the character Magic, and some like Magic has been in one movie that we don't talk about. So I don't believe that this is a MCU set. I think this is an actual Marvel Comics
Yes.
beyond the famous Avengers and the few that we've seen in the TV series with
Yep.
Disney Plus and all this. I think we're getting actual Marvel Comics characters. And to me, that is infinitely more fascinating. I think there's way
Absolutely.
more that you can do with that.
It's a much bigger deal.
So I'm all in on this.
I was actually talking to someone in our comment section earlier. And my assumption is that the base set won't be MCU related,
Right.
but a secret layer drop 100% would make sense for this, right? Like a secret layer MCU drop would make sense.
Yeah.
You just get like the 6 main like protagonist, and like a Thanos and an Infinity Gauntlet as like an arcane signet or something like.
Right.
Like that just makes too much sense not to be like the route. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think there's any chance that any MCU type print is in the base set of this. I think that would just be a flat out mistake.
Yeah, and like you said, it'd be good for Secret Lair because that's sort of what they've been doing lately. Which, by the way, I'm not going to go too much into detail about it, but the Halloween Secret Lair stuff is not it. Like the value and the stuff that they made, it's not good.
Bro, they made Princess Bride.
Okay, sorry, that one was cool.
Princess Bride.
Wrong. The rest of those,
I am this close from ordering it. It's my birthday on Sunday.
Buy 2.
I'm so close to buying it.
Buy 2.
I may never use any of the cards.
Give one to he who shall not be named.
I am so excited for that. Like
pull a mark,
and just send them to.
Just hide them in his house.
Yeah.
Under his pillow.
Yeah.
In his
all over, just randomly.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna buy a bunch of them. He's gonna open up his mailbox, and there's gonna be thousands of them just flying out.
Oh, I would love that.
Who bought all the Secret Lair Princess Bride cards?
It's like
guy in Minnesota.
It's like that scene where they try to stop Harry
letters.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, I kind of want to close with this because we have a rundown of like everything going forward for a while, and this is kind of old news. But we haven't been around to talk about it.
Right.
So we're getting Ravnica remastered, which is just a reprinting of all the famous Ravnica cards. I've been to Ravnica, like 6 times now?
Every single day.
Yeah. So it's not new. It's just a lot of the same, which Ravnica is a cool plane, but I don't know. I feel like we've thoroughly killed that dead horse.
We've been there. Yeah, we're done.
We're getting a set called Murders at Karlov Manor, which is a sort of whodunit murder mystery noir style thing, set in the world of, I believe, Ravnica again. Is that right?
Probably. I don't know.
Which okay.
I mean,
no, it is because then they're doing the Ravnica.
Yeah, it's Ravnica. Yeah,
Clue.
Yeah, it's Clue. Yeah.
Get us the heck out of Ravnica. We've been here too long. Dragon's Mage, Ravnica revisited. Like we've been in Ravnica forever.
Yeah, can we go?
We're getting Universes Beyond Fallout, which we talked about.
Yes.
And then one that I'm thoroughly excited about is Outlaws of Thunder's Junction.
Yeah.
This is Wild West meets Magic.
Finally.
We got there. I want to see what they do with this. I think it would be cool to see some cool like gunslinger-esque stuff, but also
you just know this is going to be their big tricolor set of the year.
Oh, for sure.
This is going to be the New Capenna type set of 2024.
I want to see because they have a history of like, okay, obviously like I'm very partial to how they represent Indigenous culture, and I want to see if they do that in this because I think this would be a cool set for it. I hope if you hire Indigenous artists, but also like there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with the Wild West, and I think we could see like a sort of Eberron if you're into D&D style, like just so much that you can do with this. So I'm excited to see where they go with it. And it looks like they have, again, we love Ixalan, or not Ixalan, we love Ravnica here. It looks like all the guild masters from Ravnica are in this like preview shot.
Yeah, the little preview shot they have, yeah.
Because we see Vraska, we see Rakdos. It's hard to tell who everybody else is, but
right.
I don't know. I hope the little tiny one is Fibblethip, but it's probably not.
We're getting, and the chick right next to her that's the snake head lady. What's her name?
Yeah, that's Vraska.
Okay. Oh, duh.
We're getting Modern Horizons 3. No Big shocker there. I'm interested to see
That's the
whatever.
set that everyone's going to complain about being too expensive.
And they're going to make more broken cards like Modern Horizons 1 and Modern Horizons 2.
Yeah, and everyone's going to be mad about it, and
Yeah.
it's going to be Magic is dying, whatever.
One of the weirder ones.
Yes.
Universes Beyond Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Don't
quite get that one.
Who's clamoring for Assassin's Creed?
And this one's going to have boosters.
Yes. So I don't know, man. It's like
it's not a whole set, but it's going to have boosters.
I don't know if we'll get commander decks out of this, but if we do, is it going to be like the Pope at the head of a deck? You know what I mean?
Right,
like, what are we doing?
You get one or two like commander deck. That's a weird one.
This is an IP that I like. The games are fun, but who's asking for an Assassin's Creed?
The games are all the same. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know, but whatever. I'm sure it's not for us, but it's for somebody. Like obviously these Assassin's Creed games do well. Otherwise, they wouldn't print or they wouldn't make a new one every single year. They're basically just COD, just reskinned.
Right.
And people like them. No one really in our friend group.
No, I don't think any of us are like big Assassin's Creed fanboys.
Clearly, people do. So,
by the way, this listeners at home, you're gonna love this. I'm a middle school teacher. We're at the point in time. We're at the point in history where kids are being named after Assassin's Creed characters. There is a boy in one of my classes whose name is Ezio, and nobody knows how to pronounce his name right. They all call him Ezio. Wow. But I was like, dude, Ezio? Your parents are all in on this, huh?
Right.
It's for them. It's for his parents.
It's for them. It's not for you.
Bloomborough. This one's cool. It's sort of this set is supposed to be like anthropomorphic animals, talking animals in the style of like a red wall or something like that. From my understanding, no humans or humanoids, no elves. This is just animals, which I'm super excited to see what they do with this. I have a game that I bought a long time ago that I'm trying to get my boys into. It's called Mice and Mystic. Phenomenal board game. And this is like that sort of theme. So I'm excited to see what they do with this.
Big Wilds of Eldraine vibes.
Yeah, it's very close to that. Less like fairy tale and more like Tales of Despero type thing.
Yeah.
Or Redwall.
I love the product art for it with the little mouse about to fight the big volcano wolf.
Yeah, I'm all in on this.
Thing ever. Yeah. Whoever that is, I want him. He's wearing a leaf as a cape.
Yeah.
Like that's my guy.
They haven't been doing it as much, but they used to release with almost every Magic set a supplemental thing for D&D, and I hope that this one gets one. I hope we get a crossover with this.
Sure.
I know there's like Humblewood and a lot of those Kickstarter ones, which I haven't checked them out. They look great. I'm not dogging on those, but to see an official Wizards of the Coast one come out of this would be cool. And then the last thing that we have to spoil before we close out, and I think this is the set that finally gets Mark to stop collecting and start playing Magic. Ooh. It's called Duskmoor and House of Horror. It is set entirely in a mansion. The whole thing is one mansion. You're stuck in a cabin of the woods type situation. And it's supposed to like pay homage to horror movies that like the best pulp horror movies, the ones that have the best cult followings, these 70s and 80s like classics. And so I'm excited because we're going to get a lot of cryptids, but I hope that this is the one that gets like Zane and Mark to finally play.
This is an interesting one. It sounds like, just from reading their little snippet here, is that they're going to change some things up.
Yeah.
Right? Like the set will use horror differently than Innistrad sets or Phyrexian sets. Is what this one says. It's like, what is that? What's that
Innistrad,
mean?
yeah, and Innistrad already kind of like people dog on this because the cards are like black and white, but I loved the Innistrad, what is it called?
The different. Yes, I love those. Those are great.
I love that. I thought it was great because that released the same time as like what was the Disney Plus? Oh, Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night, yeah.
And I was so into that aesthetic, and I like
the problem Magic put themselves is they released Innistrad and Crimson Vow like back to back, and both sets were extremely underwhelming.
Yeah. So those cards that to like buy a booster box or a set box or whatever of double feature is ridiculously expensive, but you're not going to get your value back.
Right.
That's my issue.
Yeah.
I'm getting roasted in chat right now, but I just wanted to say glad to have you back on, Robbie. It's been a while since we've done this.
It's been a while.
The train is not over. I think people thought that we were going away from Magic Monthly. We just got so busy that we weren't able to record it. So
yeah, unfortunately, there's so much to talk about, and we just haven't been able to. And for anyone who's listening, there's a good chance, like 100% by December. If you're listening right now, by December, I'll be back on the streaming train. So choo choo,
chugga chugga,
join us.
Yeah,
chugga chugga. The Discord, we got to get the Discord back to pumping up the Magic stuff. Yeah, I feel bad. Just my life is just so busy right now, and I haven't been able to pump it. And we're just also busy, and like you and I are the Magic guys, and we're just life is busy right now.
Life is crazy.
But hopefully by December, like we'll get back to streaming, be a lot more Magic stuff being posted and talked about, and we'll get the Discord rolling. So if you're here from the Discord, we love you. We see you. We know that you want more.
Yeah,
we know,
and we hear you. We're trying to work on it.
Just be patient with us, please.
Yeah. this is proof of that. And like one thing that we've been doing a lot is like pulling packs and talking about cards, and we'd like to play some more. So hit us up. Obviously, like right now, you and I are so busy, but going forward, it'd be nice to organize more spell table games.
I would love to actually get a consistent spell table going. I think I need to get a different. I'm gonna buy a whole different desk.
Yeah,
or maybe an extra desk, and to really get into spell table.
I'm all in on CDH right now. I've been playing that like crazy.
You're such a degenerate.
Hold on, but like this is for the folks at home and to bait you into like checking out our Patreon. If you haven't, go check it out. Link in the description. But you can't see it if you're listening to this in audio, but I made proxy Tymna and Thrasios, and it is Mabel and I can't remember the mermaid guy, but it's Mabel as Tymna. And Mermando, that's his name, as Thrasios. So I had to make those proxies. They're super fun. But yeah,
can you just make me a proxy and send it to me, just whatever you want.
Absolutely. Is that how I get you into CDH? If I send you a whole proxy deck, would you play it?
Yeah, I would, absolutely. If we could play that on Spell Table, I would.
Heck yeah. Okay. Go bully me. Go on Discord right now and bully me and remind me that I have to print those off for Robbie. Okay. Thank you, listeners at home, wherever you're listening, however you're listening. Thank you for making us part of your day. We love you 3000. Robbie, anything to say to the folks at home before we go?
No.
Okay.
You can't say I love you 3000 and we don't end on I love you 3000. You just ruined the vibe.
Okay. Bye.
No, we can't.
Cut the check.
Terrible.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infinity Bros podcast. You can find the Infinity Bros on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube at the Infinity Bros. Hey, you can also check out our website at theinfinitybros.com for links, reviews, and that sweet merch. Feel free to send listener feedback via social media or email us at infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com.